Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, actually, 2 o'clock, Palm Sunday. Finna take little Sasha mama out for a walk, but she done fought about the little bone, little ham hock I had gave to the other dogs. She the only one chowing in on it. All right, so this Red Rufus litter makes sister, St. Bernard's first litter, only litter to date. So that's little Miss Jeep litter makes sister. Like I said, it was a tight breed, but it went everywhere. It went everywhere. It went everywhere. I'm talking about it went everywhere. And not in a bad way. I'm just talking about it just seemed like it just went back to all the fucking greats. Cause there's something about Saint Renard, by him being a try. He a black try. He a try. But up under his skin, his skin black. His daddy black, but he is a try. So whatever to say, that just mean he pulling from a lot of pools, and it just showed that, you know what I'm saying. So I don't really know which pool is the best one to swim in at this point because they are so young. I know for a fact Miss Jeep has stood out, so I'm gonna show some documentation on her next. But yeah, some of them have stood out because Miss Jeep has stood out. She is high strung. She is powerful. She's a standout dog. Anyone who had her, anyone who see her, you'll be able to tell she's a standout individual. Now, on the other hand, this beautiful dog right here, I used to say she was laid back and whatnot, and I guess just by me getting her back, like I said, this is little Miss Sasha, little Sasha, and Sasha Mama. I don't know why I'm mixing that up, but this Sasha Mama, whatever the case is, I had farmed her out. I ended up getting her back, but now that she back on the yard, she seemed to be getting her confidence back up and whatnot. So she definitely is not as timid as she was a couple months ago. She's still one of the less timid dogs, in the camp, but I see her building up her confidence. But I say this to say this: these dogs. A lot of people, they talk about percentages and whatnot, and that's important. So when you breeding game dogs, if you think you're gonna get 100% of game dogs every litter, you haven't been breeding game dogs in a while or ever. So with that being said, I know these dogs and I know what they come from. So even though by her being meeker than the rest, her percentages of producing high quality game dog is gonna be almost just as high as Miss Jeep. But the only thing about little Miss Jeep, you'll know some of the characteristics what to look for because you can base a lot of stuff off the mother, and that's important too. That's why when you breed dogs, you know what I'm saying, for generations and generations, you don't always have to test them to the limit. You don't always have to take them to the limit because when you breeding a certain line of dogs and you understand their abilities and their capabilities, you don't have to keep testing yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's for the competition to do. That's for the competition to prove. That's for the obstacles to prove. But yeah, these dogs definitely will prove compatible. Like I said, the whole litter, ain't nobody guaranteeing the whole litters, but I'm telling you, the pick of the litters have been just that. The pick of the litters, able to stand up to any obstacle in front of them. So, like I said, she building up her confidence. I'm gonna take her for a walk, but the way she getting into this little bone, I just figured I'll let her enjoy that and work on her bite, her control, muscle control. Breaking bones ain't all easy as it may seem, and then it strengthens up their teeth and whatnot. So I definitely, a lot of people don't recommend those knuckle bones and all that because it makes they crap runny on occasion, this and that, this and that. That might be true, but I just think the benefits outweigh the negatives. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, having your dog really applying pressure and learning how to apply pressure, it'll outweigh a little runny stool here and there because in bite work, protection work, anything, you want your dogs to understand bite pressure and be comfortable with applying that pressure and knowing what results come with what amount of pressure. You know what I'm saying? So yes, see that's if you ain't noticed, she had moved that around and she put it in her back lower jaw, so she could apply the maximum amount of pressure. And then you heard what happened next. It was a bone to breaking. So ooh wee, I'm glad that's dead. So yeah, I don't know. Now I will say this. I do not have a breed plan for this dog. This dog is not in my current 5-year breeding program. Therefore, she can be farmed out. She can be gift out. She can be sold. So, anybody interested in any of the three, leave a little comment and whatnot, and I'll get back with you. You know, but definitely, this right here would be. She a beautiful dog as it is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I ain't really into colors and whatnot, but she ain't really a tribe per se, but she got a lot of her daddy characteristics. So I say that to say I think she definitely gonna throw some shit that ain't exactly the way she look, cause she coming from red and black dog. So that's this brown buckskin stuff is kind of a throwback trait. So I don't know if it's gonna be dominant, but I have seen some shepherd type dogs that was just as much as any other kind of type. They just got them dogs is funny. I done seen some high quality shepherd type pit bulls. I done seen some high quality Rottweiler colored pit bulls. I done seen some decent quality blue pit bulls. So, and definitely I done seen some high quality white pit bulls. So, the color stuff is really, you know what I'm saying, just whatever. It's your preference. But whatever you take her to, whatever you take her to, you can stop right there. You can go brother and sister right off that. You know you can do a repeat whatever you putting her on, and then if you keep around a brother and sister that, even though it won't be the exact same um, breed, it'll look like the same breed on paper, but it, it it pulls different characteristics. Because I did a repeat breed, and I know for a fact the litters did not act the same, look the same, or whatnot. So, but it still was tight as heck, and you you need to do certain stuff to preserve your line. So, like I said, if you're just trying to start something, she ain't gonna do you wrong. She ain't never been bred, so you wouldn't have to wait a while. She only 15 months, 15, 16 months, so she'll be coming back in heat soon. I'm not gonna breed her, but somebody get her, put something on her right then. Shoot, start your destiny. Yeah, ooh wee. Like I said, I'm glad that's dead, cause it'd sound way more gruesome if it wasn't. But she's just like, look at them jaws, look at the muscle on her jaw. So yeah, you just want to allow them to strengthen those muscles. You know what I'm saying? That's whatever you having to do. That's that's what they gonna use. They mouth. I don't care what if it's catch, if it's protection, if it's hunting. She needs to control that mouth. So you can do the little flirt pose and all the tires and all that stuff. That stuff help too. But just that precision pressure bite. Yeah, that's real important. Learning how to use them back jaw bones, and then strengthen them. Mm, mm, mm. And what's so funny, all the other dogs, they didn't want to tackle that particular bone. I done had to dig it out my yard 2 or 3 times. Everybody wanted to just bury it. Everybody wanted to bury it. 2, 3 dogs just wanted to bury it. They didn't want to have no parts of it. And they ain't gonna be able to bury it next time, because she seemed like she probably gonna have her way with it. Ooh. Now, mind you, I done zoomed in on her. We really not that close. She's a little distance away from me, and you hear how loud, how much pressure she applying. But yeah, that's old Sasha mama. Now, don't get me wrong. Push come to shove, little red Rufus will go straight on top of his sister. And like I said, that right there, even though they litter mates, it will not be as tight as people think, because they pulling from so many different traits. For instance, he a red nose. She a fine brown black nose. So they gonna be pulling from different spectrums, even though they freaking litter mates. So experiment with doing different stuff like that, man. You get different, you get some different stuff, but that will be just something. That would just be something. And I know she gonna produce some monsters, because I just got a feeling about it. She just one of them laid back dogs. I don't know who she remind me of. I want to mention a couple names. I'm gonna do a little more research. I don't want to, but just look at her, man. Y'all tell me who she remind you of. She got that real box head. Where you at, killer? So, yeah, she got a real nice box solid head. So yeah, that breed pulled back a whole bunch of throwbacks. See, y'all gotta realize, I'm starting off at 80, 85, 84, 80, 80s, early 80s is when Rough Pup Kennels got started. So you go back to the early 80s, you look at some of those great ones back then, And then you just imagine a time portal where a person who ain't really been doing nothing but trying to line breed a little bit of outcrossing, but then bringing it right back, bringing it right back. And then also creating new variations of the pit bull terrier. You know what I'm saying? This is a dog that's still evolving. It's still evolving. That's why it's just such a broad color spectrum, such a broad weight spectrum, such a broad spectrum. Because the dog is just such a the areas and lineage that it's pulled from is broad. So I'm gonna tell you, Rough Pup Kennels have definitely stayed to himself. Haven't did a lot of what they would call that community breeding or whatever the case is. No, everything been private treaty. Everything been private treaty right now in the last 10, 15 years. I can't mention no one who got a dog that ain't a partner of the kennel. And then too, that's not just by design. Shoot, out of this litter here, 10 puppies was born, only 4 survived. We kept the whole litter. Out of miracle litter, so many was born, only 1 survived. I kept the whole litter. You know what I'm saying? It's just wasn't nothing but the people's. Wasn't nothing but the people's. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm getting to a point where I got some potential breedings that's just definitely gonna make anybody a proud pet owner, a proud pit bull owner. I'm just putting it out there, you know? And don't let price be constricting, you know what I'm saying? I give a good guy a helping hand before I be squabbling over certain stuff, man. So I always keep that in mind. It ain't never about the bread. I done spent way more than I think I'm gonna make off of this stuff as far as selling puppies go. So that ain't even it. That ain't even it. But you can make something selling puppies, especially if you have a quality dog, you know what I'm saying? So I try to put some dogs in some people's hands who people respect. So, you know what I'm saying? So, sure, I done help people change their whole yard, not intentionally, but if you get a rough puppy, even if you try to neglect it, it's gonna stand out so much you're gonna end up neglecting your stuff because he gonna stand out. All you gotta do is just give them some time to grow. Cause like I said about it, you know, rough pup kennels will run up on a grown dog with the understanding or thinking that it's grown and just, you know, it just don't work that way. So you gotta be a responsible pet owner. You gotta be a responsible pet owner and give these dogs the fair chance to shine, and they will. Period. No bias, no bias. I sold my neighbor a dog. He got 2, 3 rough pups right now. He done been, matter of fact, that's who I did this breed with. I sold him a female a while back, and shoot, I bred Saint Bernard to his female, and that's how we got these puppies. He kept 1, I kept 3. And he pleased like a mug. He pleased like a mug. And I am too. I am too. Some beautiful dogs, but yet and still, she needs a loving home, cause shoot, I got Miracle, I got Little Miss Jeep, so and I ain't got no plans for her. So if you know somebody interested in making a, a some conversation on this dog and building their future, hit me up. You know. Other than that, here she go. I'm gonna go in and take her for a walk in a minute. I'm gonna hit y'all back up, and we're gonna do a little documentation on on this mug. Then I'm gonna do a little more top, do something on her, and then I'm gonna go get a little Miss Jeep.